Hey, you! Thank you for joining me for today's Internet Stories. I have my fresh cup of coffee, and I hope you do too. Let's get buzzed. Let's babble. I just witnessed a glorious act of rush hour revenge. I was driving to work today, and it started off like any other day. On my route, I have to cross an intersection with a traffic light. It is the kind of intersection where a small street crosses a major avenue, so the red light's very long and the green light is very short. During rush hour traffic, it usually takes me 3 green light cycles to be able to get across. It is what it is. On this particular morning, there were at least 20 cars in front of me. Sometimes the traffic in front of me would not even move until the light turned red again. I was that far back in the queue. Unfortunately, on this day, there was a psycho who was 2 cars behind me. He would start honking like crazy every time the light turned green, as if somehow it would help the line defy the laws of physics so we could move into the occupied space in front of us. Nobody in the lineup was moving particularly slow. It was literally just traffic. Yet this D-bag chose to make the inevitable 10-minute wait at the intersection worse for everyone with his incessant honking. Several minutes later, I was finally at the point where I would get across the intersection at the next green light, as there was only 1 car stopped ahead of me. As soon as the light turned green, Mr. Psycho didn't miss a beat and started hammering on the horn again. I checked my rearview mirror trying to get a better look at this guy, only to see the car ahead of him move slightly forward and then slam on the brakes. He waited there long enough to dart through the intersection as the light went red, robbing Mr. Psycho of his opportunity to make it through the intersection in time. This absolute, beautiful act of pettiness by this unsung hero just cost the honking psycho 3 more minutes of waiting. I don't think the smile left my face until I arrived at work. One day, I will find and thank this individual. Oh, the pure satisfaction I get from reading this story. Not all heroes wear capes, people. Don't you ever fart outdoors again. This is a bit of a long one, folks. Buckle in. This was back in my senior year of high school. Our school had just introduced a sequence to earn your A+ and Network Plus certifications. I took the A+ class junior year, and it was the same group of guys who took the Net Plus class the next year. It was held in one of those rickety T buildings that was supposed to be temporary, but they really weren't. Man, we were a gassy bunch. Of course, being 17 or 18, we all thought it was hilarious. And I won't even pretend otherwise. At almost 33, I still think farts are about the funniest thing ever. We even had a kid who caught a nosebleed after someone farted in his face. Is that even possible? To my great shame, I always felt like I was the only one who couldn't work up a good one. I just wasn't gassy that time of day for some reason. I had one here and there, but for the most part, I felt left out. Our teacher had enough. She was a year and a half into the sequence with these stank-ass boys. She begged and pleaded and threatened, but we wouldn't relent. The room smelled so bad all the time. She had to be miserable. It was bad for us, but the smell that never went away just made it funnier. Word really got around the school just how bad the farting problem in the Net Plus class had gotten. Eventually, the principal got involved and threatened suspension for any farters. We argued logically and passionately that farts are a natural bodily function that we couldn't do anything about except to push them out as hard as we could. We eventually compromised. If you have to fart, quietly get up and go outside. Don't announce to the class that you have to fart. Just quietly get up without announcing to the class that you have to fart and go outside. Fart, and come back. Don't linger outside. Upon your return, do not tell the class that you had just farted. He knew we were a crafty bunch, so he left us no wiggle room. However, We did get him to say fart multiple times by not understanding what he meant with his old-timey sayings like, do your business, or pass wind. It didn't really affect me too much. Like I said, I just wasn't that gassy at that point in the day. A couple months go by, and since we weren't rampantly farting on each other anymore, the whole go outside thing kind of lost its charm. So we weren't forcing our farts out anymore. One day, during lecture, I felt one coming up on deck. So I quietly stood up and headed outside. The teacher asked me where I was going. And, per our agreement, I did not announce what I was going to do. I shut the door behind me, stuck my ass out, and wiggled it up against the door, looking for that sweet spot. It was a good out. Oh my god. This thing must have lasted 5 seconds. It had a deep, rich tone that can't be achieved through solid-state electronics. Oh, it had that warm sound you expect from a classic Fender tube amp. And it was one of those slapping farts too. You know, the kind that come out with such force that it feels like your butt cheeks are applauding your recital. It was one of those, except it was slapping against that rickety hollow core T-building door. Oh, I need a break. I took a moment to compose myself and quietly went back in. Everybody is staring at me. I didn't say a word. My sweet old lady teacher, who really was an incredibly nice woman that didn't deserve to have us farting on her for 2 years, screams at me, "What the beep did you do?" I was honor bound not to announce to the class that I had just farted. "Don't you ever go outside and do that again. I don't care if you're going to beep yourself. Stay in that chair and you beep right there." 15 teenage boys are all laughing now. Control of the class had been lost. I sat back down. Apparently, I really found the sweet spot. That thing came through the door with an echo and rattled every window in the building. It's been 15 years, and when I run into one of those guys around town, we still talk about that fart. I won the war. Opie, what is there to even say about this story that you haven't already left out? Bravo, I applaud you. Thank you all for tuning in today. I'm done babbling. That's all I have for you. If you liked today's episode, please don't forget to share and subscribe, hit that like button, and keep your buzz going. Catch you next time.